Revealed in upcoming episodes of this program are the contents of a recently unearthed repository classified by the secret government, the Phenomenon Archives. From sand and earth has emerged much of the hidden truth of man's development. Stories long thought to be legend have been proven through archaeological findings. Though there is an occasional misrepresentation, for the most part, we don't doubt archaeologists. We would prefer to revel in the odyssey of our own beginnings. Ambition led Ron Wyatt to his personal crossroads with a biblical tale known to every schoolchild. 22 years later, he still doesn't have all the proof that some would demand. But the mystery of the boat-like shape on the side of a mountain in Turkey has made Ron a celebrity. But in the field of archaeology, celebrity comes at a price.
There's a real soft place in the earth right under it.
On June 16th, 1987, Ron Wyatt and a documentary film team from the United States traveled to eastern Turkey at the invitation of the governor of the Turkish province of Agri. There, they participate in a ceremony at the base of a site known locally as Doomsday Mountain. A ceremony of commemoration marking not only this now historic region, but the apex of 27 years of painstaking and sometimes life-threatening research. On June 20th, 1987, the governor of Agri proclaims to the world that the Turkish archaeological authorities confirmed the findings of the Ron Wyatt expedition and declare the area under investigation the landing site of the legendary Noah's Ark. Ron's contribution to this discovery earns him VIP status as he actively participates in the dedication of the site. The traditional sacrifice of a lamb sanctifies this holy place as the governor drops the first shovel of concrete into the inaugural footing of what will become a multicultural, interfaith visitor center and park. Here, all may gaze upon what experts believe to be the final resting place of Noah's Ark.
Not everyone addresses Wyatt's work with enthusiasm. Biblical Archaeological Digest seems to consider him either a fraud or a con man. Many over the years have attempted to detract from his findings, but the real mystery in Wyatt's story is what inspires a family man with a perfectly normal life to travel halfway around the world in search of something that's been missing and presumed lost for thousands of years.
Although precise dating of military intelligence photographs is top secret information, researchers have learned that prior to 1960, in the heart of the mountains of Ararat, while on a routine military reconnaissance survey, Turkish Air Force Lieutenant A. Kurtz took an aerial photograph of a curious boat-shaped object. Subsequent review by Turkish photographic specialists confirmed the dimensions of this object to be virtually identical to those stated in the Old Testament as the length and roughly the width of the famous Diluvian vessel. In 1960, news of these photos reaches the United States. They are brought before the Archaeological Research Foundation, an advanced group of scientists and explorers. Under the aegis of the Turkish military, a joint Turkish-American expedition is assembled. Wilbur Bishop, a member of the 1960 expedition.
The trip to Dogabaj started, of course, in Ankara. We flew with the Turkish airline to Erzurum. We went from there to Dogobazit. The Turkish people knew what we wanted, what we were talking about, of course, and we went by the van over to this camp, which is right near the entrance to Persia. And there we rode horseback over to the site.
The area is a hotbed of terrorism and conflict, with neighbors like Iraq, Iran, and Soviet Georgia. Turkish soldiers accompanied the expedition to assure their safe passage to and from the region.
Well, we got off of the horses and we looked down and could see it right from there. We was about, I guess, 500 feet from the site, on the side of the hill. We walked down from there. We had to jump several crevices in the earth from the earthquakes that had happened. All of us thought it was a boat.
Dr. Arthur Brandenberger, a stereophotogrammetry expert, accompanies the group to the region. After studying the object and comparing the measurements to those in the aerial photos, he states, "I have no doubt at all that the object is a ship. In my entire career, I have never seen an object like this on a stereo photo." The rest of the team remain unconvinced. Their disappointment over a lack of substantiating evidence impels them toward extreme measures. Wilbur Bishop.
I asked the Colonel Backel if he had some dynamite. He says, "No, but we got plenty of black powder." And so I told him, "Go get it."
Following the blast, the team finds nothing with which to convince the rest of the world that the boat-shaped object is the fabled Ark.
Till we left, when we didn't find any timber or anything, well, we figured it wasn't there.
Looking to capitalize on what could be one of the greatest archaeological finds since the pyramids, the U.S.-Turkish team, made up of private treasure seekers as well as government personnel, lose heart when their hard work doesn't produce immediate, tangible results. Though their lack of scientific proof doesn't reflect well on this first expedition, other Ark hunters will eventually capitalize on their mistakes. This is especially true of Ron Wyatt, who begins his search by investigating confidential military reports and arcane text, seeking any relevant account of the Ark. What he finds is astonishing.
On September 5, 1960, Life magazine reports the results of the expedition, after which public interest in the object wanes for everyone except Ron Wyatt. Ron Wyatt is a nurse anesthetist practicing at Memorial Hospital of Nashville, Tennessee. He is inspired by the mystery of the object and the Life magazine article. Though he cannot take time away from his family and career obligations to set out on an expedition of his own, he immerses himself in the study of the Ark and its place in history. He pursues the related sciences, geology, archaeology, chemistry, preparing himself for his ultimate goal, the field exploration of the boat-shaped object.
We, at that point in time, began to do a lot of research, background research on the probable landing site of Noah's Ark, and review the existing stories about people that claim to have seen the Ark on the mountain and nearby areas.
Over 200 versions of a global deluge, a flood of planetary proportions, exist in the folklore and historical references of various cultures. Written individual accounts provide abundant evidence for a universal flood theory. Ron Wyatt's independent studies reveal approximately 30 different sightings of the Ark's purported resting place on or near Mount Ararat. None of these sightings, however, are factually based, and many are contradictory.
The 30 so-called eyewitnesses, and I don't doubt the integrity of these people, there are several stone formations on that mountain that resemble a boat, but no one was ever able to get photographic proof. Also, I found that